G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Let's go. My best friend confessed feelings to my girlfriend. She wants to cut him out of our life. Now, I said our life and not mine because she says she cannot control me, but she never wants to be around him anymore. So if she and I are together, she doesn't want to see him. She also says I should really think how good of a friend he is if he is confessing feelings and saying I love you to his best friend's girlfriend and future wife. I, 28 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 30 female, for 2 years now, and honestly, it's the best relationship of my life. We've discussed engagement and marriage, and have also met each other's families. My best friend, on the other hand, is someone I've known for almost 8 years, and even lived with him for 4 years. In fact, that's how I met him, as roommates. Until 2 days ago, I never would have suspected that he saw my girlfriend in any other way than his best friend's girlfriend, and would-be life partner. But yesterday night, my girlfriend came home from the office and said we need to talk, and told me what had transpired. My girlfriend and my best friend's office buildings are in the same tech park, so they occasionally see each other, and that's why when my best friend joined her when she was having tea, it didn't surprise her. But, in fact, what he said had surprised her though. He told her that he had been harboring a crush on her since I introduced them, and he could no longer keep it to himself, since we were discussing getting engaged. He said he owed it to himself to tell her. My girlfriend told him to F off and walked away. She also blocked him immediately on every platform, and then she told me. I asked my best friend WTF happened, and he admitted but also said he never asked her to cheat on me, he was just confessing his feelings. My girlfriend, on the other hand, says there is no point in confessing his feelings, and he definitely didn't have noble intentions as he claims. She says she doesn't want anything to do with him because he betrayed both of us and disrespected our relationship. I am a little torn here, and of course I'm angry at him, but I also have a lot of history with the guy. Would appreciate some advice. Thank you. In the comments, your girlfriend did exactly what one should do if they're in a committed relationship. And yes, she is right in cutting him out of her life and your joint life. And she is also right that you should seriously consider cutting him from your life as well. Actually, let's put it in another way. If you don't cut him from your life, can you ever really trust him? And on top of that, your girlfriend will probably end up leaving you over it. Man, I wish my ex did that when his best friend confessed his feelings to him. It didn't matter that his best friend was male and that my ex was straight. It still bothered me to no end when my ex put his friend's needs over mine just because they were best friends. It's awkward as hell when I'm on the couch with my head on my ex's shoulder and the best friend sits on the other side of him and does the same. This was a constant thing, and I definitely hated his friend's attitude towards me when all 3 of us hung out. It hurt a lot because he was my friend too. We might have stayed together if it weren't for his friend. People don't confess to someone unless they are hoping that the person will leave their current partner for them. Sorry, but he crossed the line and is no longer your friend. Your girlfriend is 100% right here. Yup, he was willing to torch his friendship with OP just to have a slim possibility of getting his girl. And now OP is torn on what he should do? To be honest, your girlfriend is right. What was the expectation that your best friend had? That she's going to leave you and go with him? There is literally no benefit in confessing while knowing she's in a relationship. Your girlfriend is also right in that he disrespected your relationship. OP says, I'm just in disbelief. This guy has been like my family for 8 years now. We were there for each other through tough times, and now he does this? Look, at some point he decided that the chance to be with her was more valuable than his friendship with you. Back up to the post, we have an edit. Thank you guys. I accept I was being a tool in how I responded to the situation. He was my best friend, but in this case, he behaved like a stranger who had absolutely no concern or respect for my relationship. It will be hurtful to let the friendship go, but I know this is what needs to happen. As for my girlfriend, I will apologize to her for being a tool and maybe take her for a weekend pampering session. She's the best. And now, onto the update. It's done. My best friend is out of my life. I had a conversation with him where he said that he would never have asked her to cheat on me, but he just wanted to get it out of his system. Apparently, he has been nursing a crush on her since we started dating, and that's why he's not even tried to date anyone else. I told him that he couldn't control his feelings, but he should have controlled his actions and kept it to himself, and then I blocked him. My girlfriend, on the other hand, is really weirded out by his confession. Anyways, that is my update. Also, I have a new best friend, my girlfriend. In the comments, she's probably weirded out because she considered him an actual friend. I wouldn't be surprised if she's feeling a sense of betrayal and anger while also thinking she somehow caused this. She didn't. Crushes are normal enough. He shouldn't have confessed. He could have moved on without needing to tell her, let alone doing it behind your back. As someone who's been in your girlfriend's shoes, it's normal to feel weirded out. I used to have a friend who I got along so well with, talk to him for hours on end at every party, all that jazz. Then he made advances at me several times, and now he's blocked and I haven't seen him for 5 years. But it also made our relationship before that seem rotten. Every hug hello, all our conversations. I keep wondering if he had ulterior motives the entire time. If he listened to my input in group conversations about sex and fantasized about it. If he asked his friend I hooked up with about her night with me. If he only went on drunk walks with me because he wanted to get me alone somehow, and if I was just lucky someone else always wanted to tag along. He became very predatory in the end, and it can really cause some trust issues to find out that someone has always just been circling around you like a vulture, waiting for their chance to somehow get with you. It's a good thing you are so supportive of her, because that experience is still screwing with me and one of the big reasons I'm apprehensive about men now. Which sucks, because I don't want to be, but my alarm bells just go off a lot faster now, and that emotional distance I feel is hard to bridge with just rational thoughts. I stopped having male friends altogether because, even after saying multiple times to him, "You're like a brother, man," and never, I mean never dressing to impress, hoodies, no makeup, ponytail, etc., he's still admitting to have a crush on me even after him saying, "Oh, you're like a little sister," to me. It took years of him emailing me for him to finally get it that I don't want to be friends anymore. Don't get me wrong, he was nice. They always are and always will be, but to me it was enough to know that it's not possible to just be friends. It would happen with every dude that I tried befriending, and I just got tired of it. I don't even make eye contact with dudes at the gym because it would eventually be the same story, just a different place. Our next post is titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my cousin I didn't care about his stupid figurine after he destroyed my book?" I write as a hobby and have done since I was little. It started as a way to cope with the many problems of my life, and I just kept doing it because I liked it. I have a cousin, Carl, 26 male, who loves figurines since he was a child. I never particularly cared about those kinds of things, but since we were children and we lived close to each other, we always played together and he often showed me his figurines, explaining to me how he got them, from what show, film, anime, whatever they're from, etc., etc. I never cared about it, but I saw that being able to talk about his passion with someone else made him happy, so I always tried to pay close attention and to fake interest. His passion for figurines is still alive today. The garage in his home is basically filled with figurines, and he even bought a 3D printer to print some gadget or figurine that he wanted bigger. Now, while I was in college, I had barely any time to write, but I started investing some more time into it once I was close to my graduation, and resumed writing consistently the book that I had started when I was 20. I began to talk to Carl about the story I was writing, and he initially seemed interested. Then completely lost interest, so I stopped mentioning it to him. Yesterday, I completed my book, and I decided to print a physical copy myself. A hardcover. I paid someone to draw a cover. It looked exactly like a book you could find in a library. It was my treasure, a proof that I achieved something. I brought it to my family house, where a bunch of my relatives from both sides of the family were staying. They were all very enthusiastic about the book, about me completing it after struggling with it for years. They even began to ask if I had any intention to bring it to an editor to publish it officially. Evidently, Carl got upset because everybody was talking about a book that he didn't care about, so he suddenly took the book, said he was sick of hearing us talk about it, and he threw it out of the window. It was raining outside, and the book landed in a puddle. I rushed to pick it up, but it was completely ruined. I snapped. I began to yell at him and told him the truth, that for years I had spent hours listening about his stupid figurines that I didn't care about, and that he was such an a-hole for his actions. I told him that I hoped his whole collection get destroyed in a fire. Today, his parents came to me and refunded me the money for the book and apologized for his behavior. Now that I'm calm and collected though, I realize that I may have overreacted. He cared about having someone to talk about his figurines, and I was happy seeing him happy when he talked about them. Am I the a-hole? In the comments, not the a-hole. Carl's irrational jealousy over your success is something he needs to work on. OP says, what success? You finished a book. Whether you ever decide to submit it for publication is besides the point. You wrote a book. That is a lot of time and effort. Oh, and most definitely not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You have spent hours listening to him about what he finds interesting. However, he couldn't even listen to it for one day? Carl's a butthole. Even after having time to reflect upon learning that his cousin didn't really share his hobby, but was being incredibly supportive, he didn't apologize or replace the book. His parents did. And it was so childish. I had to go back to read the age. He's throwing things because everyone was talking about a book that he didn't care about. He's 26. I went into the story sure that we were going to hear about 2 younger kids, not 2 adults, one of whom apparently can't hack listening to someone talking about a different passion. He is definitely the a-hole here, and incredibly, concerning, if I'm being honest, immature. Not the a-hole. Quote, before I start, this is a petty discussion, and I'm probably the a-hole for disturbing all of you with this problem. No, we are perfectly fine with petty around here. It beats listening to abusers trying to justify themselves. Anyway, with regards to the actual situation, it's understandable that Carl was jealous. It must have been frustrating for him to watch all of your relatives fawning over you when only one of them, i.e. you, ever took time to listen to his passions. What is not understandable, nor acceptable, is him taking your book and throwing it in a puddle. It doesn't matter if you made the book yourself or not, that's abhorrent. With consideration that you did write it yourself, and even went as far as to commission a cover for it, that just makes everything an order of magnitude worse. Frankly, the only thing you could have done that would have even made this everyone sucks, much less for anyone to call you the butthole, is if you went and destroyed his collection as revenge. Your response was well-deserved, at worst. Carl mistreated the only person who took an interest in his interests, who might have been the only friend in the family that he actually had. Why people do this, I have no idea. I'm sure it has something to do with the familiarity and abuse/power dynamics, but I see this crap all the time. OP says, just wanted to point something out. He shares his hobby with his parents, and they gladly listen to him. It's just that I'm the only one in the family who is close in age, so I'm the one who he shared his hobby the most. Back up to the post, we have an edit. He just called and apologized, said he has an idea on how to make amends, and will do it in the next few days. I don't know if I should be scared, happy, or something else. And now onto the update. So a month has passed and things have been solved, so I thought an update was needed. Carl came to my house 1 week ago. He apologized and brought gifts. A new physical copy of my book. Now, this needs an explanation. Except for me, the only person who has a digital copy of my book is my older sister, Federica. Federica is a no bullcrap kind of person. If the chance of me forgiving Carl were 1 out of 10, the chance of my sister doing the same things were 1 out of 1,000. When he told me that he convinced my sister to give him a copy to reprint, I was astonished. A full collection of figurines of the main cast of my story. There are 5 main characters in the story, and only 2 of them were on the cover that I printed, which meant that he read the book and drew/had someone else draw a sketch of the other 3 characters in order to make their figurine. They are 25 centimeters tall, and I admit they look really good. He paid me back for the physical copy that he destroyed. I asked him why he was giving me the money since he had just given me a new copy and his parents had already paid me. He said that the new copy was in place of the one that he destroyed, while the money was an apology. He apologized for what he did that day and explained to me his reasons, a mix of jealousy and bad timing. Things are still not completely fine, but they are better. He thanked me for bearing his hobby all of these years. I apologized for losing my temper and insulting his hobby. While I don't share his passion over figurines, I can understand how much love that he puts in every one of them. He looked sincere in his apology, and we parted amicably. I decided to give back to his parents the money they originally gave me as an apology. I spent a couple of hours choosing what to do with the 5 figurines that he gave me. For now, I put the 2 original on my desk and the other 3 on the top shelf of my library. I have to admit, having figurines made about my own book is really cool, and I spent quite a lot of time looking at them in the past week. I want to thank all of you for your support on the original post. Bye. In the comments, "Aw, that's actually a sweet apology from your cousin. Sounds subversive as hell to me. He just found a way to drag OP into the deep dark world of figurines." Sarcasm. It is really a nice way of apologizing though. He didn't stop at a heartfelt apology and restitution, a cold label but best fit. He helped bring more life to the characters that OP spent years creating. Shows a lot of appreciation for the relationship between him and OP. Wow, that was actually a very awesome way for him to apologize in the only manner in which he could, by making figurines based on your book. Well done, and thank you for your update. For once, a real apology is given on Reddit. I feel like I barely see these outcomes. Honestly, this is such a heartfelt apology, way beyond what I expected. Were the figurines painted? I asked because I paint some, while I have a friend who paints them professionally. It's usually at least 2 hours to paint each one, or on the low end, my friend charges 25 Canadian dollars an hour to paint other people's. Also, designing mini flags, even with one of those programs that lets you choose everything, takes a decent amount of time and effort. I just used one to design 5 custom D&D figures as gifts, and I sunk hours into it. And then, the fact that he also went and basically put himself in front of the firing squad that is your sister? Needless to say, the amount of thought, work, and dedication in this apology should really show how badly he feels about what he did and how much he knows that it hurt you. OP replies, quote, "In front of the firing squad that is your sister. I think that's the best description of my sister that I have ever heard. It goes without saying that you seem a cool-as person whose book I'd probably enjoy reading, but I like the sound of Federica too. Outside of the novel Defenestration, Carl sounds okay too, I guess." And that's where I'm going to leave you guys today. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.